Welcome back, Know-It-Alls, and thanks for listening to the show. Your support is awesome. Please continue to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Remember to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode when it gets released. You can find us on all social media platforms under the name Answers for Everything Podcast. We should be there. If we are not, let us know and we'll make it right.
All right, Know-It-Alls, we're back with another episode. Mr. Clay and Charlie Ray.
It's weird because right before this, we were talking about taking trips to Southeast Asia and only getting poked by the things you want to get poked by. And we'll leave it at that. Let your imaginations run wild. And we weren't talking about prison, just in case you guys were wondering.
Nobody wants prison in Southeast Asia. I've never heard anybody go, hey, you know where I want to go to prison? Singapore.
Well, I mean, not many people say I want to go to prison anyway, but some people want their 3 square meals a day and protection and a roof over their head. It's not for me. I would try and make my world I would try and make my way in the world, not in prison.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid prison. I've managed to avoid it for all the years of my life so far. Although there was a really close time that I thought I might be spending a couple of years there, but that's another story.
So in prison, you're not gonna be dating anybody that you
not on purpose. Well, maybe on purpose.
What is it? Is it Deuce Bigelow? No, it's the new guy. You ever seen the new guy?
The new guy.
The kid. I don't know. The kid is a loser at school, and he does something just like totally badass, and he gets kicked out of school, and he gets moved to another school, and he starts a whole new persona, and he comes back to his regular school as a like the leader of the football team from the other school. Anyway, he just creates a name for himself, but he meets Eddie Griffin, and Eddie Griffin, he goes to jail and he meets Eddie Griffin, and Eddie Griffin tells him that in prison, the sex you want, you ain't getting, and the sex you getting, you ain't want. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So that sort of leads us into the discussion, the topic today, which once again is not about prison at all. It's about dating and the kind of profiles you see when you're going through dating websites. And I went through a whole bunch today, and a lot of the websites, like Plenty of Fish, has a little headline, right? So you have the person's picture, and then you have a little headline, and then you have their age, and then you have where they're from. And just based off the one picture and their headline, I've determined a lot of these people I don't want to bother with, or they don't want to bother with me just based off their headline. Isn't that right, Charlie Ray?
I would say yes. I deleted all the apps off my phone here in the last year or so after I met somebody and started kind of dating. And
from Grindr, you kept that app, obviously.
Well, of course, that's more of a hookup app. But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah, it's really challenging for me to online date. I think you may have more luck in that world than I have had. Down here, a lot of the women are definitely very leftist leaning, and so they have a lot of things about what they don't want, and they definitely don't want people who are conservative, or they'll say if you voted for Trump, don't bother swiping right, or various things like that. So they're very definitive on what they don't want. Yeah. Not always very definitive on what they bring to the table, but they definitely tell you what they don't want.
Do you ever swipe right on the ones that have a headline that you don't match with?
I don't see any point in it.
I do it just to test what it's like. And yeah. There's 7 things here. These are ones that I've found in the last little while. So these are 7 headlines that I saw underneath attractive women, like the women that I find attractive. I don't know if somebody else would find them attractive, but to me, they were pleasing to the eye. So My first instinct is to swipe right. Absolutely, right away, without even reading a profile. You see the headline, and then you're like, oh, the picture is much better than the headline, but I'm going to swipe right anyway because I want to see what happens if we match. So this is the first one I saw. The headline was, I'm not vaccinated, and if you are, don't swipe right. And I'm vaccinated. She's hot, so I swiped right. she's hardcore against the vaccination, obviously. And I got vaccinated just because, well, whatever. I mean, it's a vaccination. I've gotten so many my entire life, and I'm not dead yet. So you know what? I think I'm okay. But that's just my opinion, and I don't care if you're vaccinated. I'm not gonna be angry that you didn't get vaccinated. I'm not gonna be ecstatic that you did get vaccinated. I'm indifferent to your choice of vaccination. I don't care. You do you, I do me. But I just can't believe this girl was so adamant that she wouldn't mesh well with somebody who's been vaccinated. So did I do the right thing by swiping right?
Well, that's a judgment call on you. The thing is if you did match with her, I mean, and she did match, would you tell her?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie about it.
Okay. Well, then sure, why not? Because as long as you're not trying to actually deceive her from that point forward, then no. Although how I feel that because because I see a lot of headlines that are the exact opposite down here.
Yeah.
If you're not vaccinated, don't even bother, swipe left. I mean, basically, I'm protected in all things I do, including being vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated as well, don't even want to talk to you. And so that's common.
And you
And,
don't swipe right on those because you don't see the point, right?
no, I don't see the point. But then again, I don't see the point with lots of them because, well, I'll just be honest. At this point in my life, there's not. I'm not going to really. I don't know that I'm ever going to find what I'm looking for at this point. I think that ship done sailed. But trying to date online when all you really have to go on is a picture is kind of pathetic. To me.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, it's I see. The thing is, for me, I've been doing various versions of online dating type of stuff for years, back from when it was like a total joke and laughed at. I'm talking about like when they were doing video dating on like VHS cassettes, dude. I mean, like a
Wow.
long time ago. Like you would go, like there was people that charged quite a bit of money, and they'd have video libraries on video cassettes where you'd go in, you'd like pick a person like by their profile picture in a book, take a VHS, go into a room and play their video.
That's fucked up.
That is old. That is old. I'm old. That's right. I am old, people. And then you had your single, you had your advertisements like on phone lines, you had the advertisements in like your monthly or weekly magazines that used to exist that no longer exist. I mean, everything's gone now. All those things are all long gone. They're ancient dustbin history.
Yeah.
All the way to the point where you started having Craigslist personals, which you don't even have anymore because it all got burned out by people wanting, hookers. Basically, we can't legalize hooking, but we will kill the fact of trying to for people to meet. You had Backpage, you had all kinds of advertisements for people wanting alternative, types of connections, not just regular dating. Then you got to the point where in the early 2010s or I don't know when Tinder launched, but basically whenever Tinder launched, it just blew everything out of the water. Then it all became just a swipe. It's just a swipe. I mean, you used to have to go on the computer. You'd have long profiles. People would type stuff in. They probably still weren't being read, but it was just a longer way to explain how psycho everybody is. And now, it's just all short profiles, just pictures, and everybody just swipe, 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 and that's it. That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
And then
So
that's what I was doing with all the funny headlines that I saw. I like this one. This one makes me happy. It's like, I'm a God-fearing woman. And if you aren't a follower of him, all in caps lock, don't message me. So guess what I did?
you messaged her.
I swiped right and I messaged her. And right out of the gate, she's just like, "Did you read my profile?" I was like, "I did read your profile." And she's like, "Well, what do you think about God?" I was like, "Well, this is what I think about God." And then we continued to chat for like 2 or 3 weeks. We weren't even talking about dating and stuff like that. We were just talking about God and philosophy and belief systems. So she's like, it's actually kind of sad to her that I don't believe in God because she was, I'm having a really good time with this. And I was like, so
Yeah.
then what difference does it make? Does it really make that much of a difference in your life? Like you're getting along with me very well for like 3 weeks now, but because I don't believe in God, you refuse to date me. It's so fucked up that we got along so well right? And then she just
Right.
like after, we have it fizzles out after you realize that there is no way she's going to budge. It is God and that is it.
Right.
Then, I just don't reply as quickly and then it fizzles out, which makes
Yeah.
sense. But it's odd to me that these people do continue with conversations even though their headline is not who I am at all. And they know that right out of the gate because I don't sugarcoat it, I don't lie about it. I don't try and mislead them. I flat out tell them, yeah, that's not the belief system I have, but let's just keep chatting. And then they do. Some of them are kind of dicks about it, but most of them aren't. And another one I have is because I'm not that tall, right? I'm like 5'10, maybe 5'11. And the headline was, if you're not over 6 feet tall, don't bother. So obviously I swipe right. But
Of course you do. Right. Yeah.
like, are you really like, does that inch really make a difference in your life? Well,
Which inch we talking about?
I think we're talking about my height. Maybe she's like looking at
Yeah.
my picture. She's like, yeah, no, that's not gonna cut it. I can tell the guy's got a baby dick.
So how did that go? Did you end up having a conversation with her?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Never matched, never anything. Just I guess they could.
Okay.
Well, because my height is listed in my profile, right?
Yeah.
So right away she knows I'm not 6 feet tall. Because I'm not gonna lie about it. Because once you meet them, they're gonna be like, dude, you're not 6 feet tall, right? They just know.
Right.
And right
Yeah.
away you're like, wow, they're realizing that they just wasted time on trying to meet up with you just for them to say, "Oh yeah, I'll text you later," and then they never text you.
Right. Right.
And
Well,
one I saw today, it was pretty funny. The girl wasn't, in my opinion, very attractive, but her headline was "No fucks left to give." That's it. You read through the profile, and she just said, "I'm just here looking for friends, looking for fun, looking to meet people. I don't really care about dating. I don't really care about marriage. I've had bad experiences." She just seemed like a super negative person. So
right.
I didn't swipe right on that. I don't want to deal with negativity. It's not my jam. Like it's not something I want to deal with. If you're not going to be positive, just get the fuck out of my way.
Right.
Because there's a way to almost solve any problem in any situation. And if you're not going to bother and you just want to be a miserable cunt, go be a miserable cunt by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And also for the male version of miserable cunt is well, actually you'd probably use the same term if you're British. So, you could be
Yeah,
miserable
absolutely.
cunt either way. So yeah, there's no point in that. Even if life fucking is, I don't want to say, if it's challenging, let's just put
Yeah.
it that way. If it's challenging, you know what? There's still, I don't know. I find even like when you're grinding it out, you still can find time for joy and instead of just completely being all about poor me the whole time, but it's a challenge and it's one that I've gotten better at as I've gotten older. I've just kind of accepted this is life and life is made up of challenges and you just keep getting through them and you keep moving on.
And if you
So,
can't find the joy, at least you can try to find the joy.
yes,
And
yes,
that's a huge thing. Just trying in almost any situation. If you just try in a relationship versus just giving up in a relationship, that makes the difference between the relationship surviving or not. Just try.
yes.
Just try.
I, I agree. Like today, I didn't do anything that cost a lot of money. I just went out for a walk. I walked out in the sun. I enjoyed the breeze on my face. I went out and sat in the grass and enjoyed the earth. And, whether that sounds dorky or not dorky or whatever, you know what? It was nice just to enjoy being alive and feeling the sun and feeling the air on my face. And, sometimes that's all you need just to, help get you through the multiple 12-hour days you're going to do in the future.
You were just thinking about ways that you could have to go back to use the toilet after your all you can eat buffet from last night.
Oh no, that was all gone. It was left behind.
There was no substance and there was no liquid left in my body
That's
after
right.
that. I had to
Yeah.
replenish today and I had to let the sun charge.
Yeah. I definitely was not going back to that buffet again. That I can tell you.
I've
So
got I've got the same thing that you have here. There was one headline that was if you voted liberal, keep swiping,
yeah.
right? And you have
Oh,
the
that's the
opposite, right?
opposite. No,
Yeah.
mine was if you voted conservative, just keep swiping or
Yeah.
swipe left or whatever. Yeah.
So I don't have any political ties at all on my profiles. So I swipe right just because I want to see where this goes. And I never got a reply from that one or even a
Yeah.
like or a match or anything. I mean, I understand that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. So it's nice to match with the ones that I know that they have an opposite point of view that I do because I want to enjoy this. I want to have a conversation. Just throw the shit at me. Let's do this.
Right.
I've got this one. This girl, once I swiped on her profile, like once I read her profile and I swiped on it, her profile was probably 30 paragraphs long of what she's looking for.
Wow.
And on
That's
the bottom,
amazing.
it says, I may seem like a bitch or I may seem needy, but I just know my worth and I'm not going to settle for anything less. So you have to applaud that, right?
Right.
But I mean, I couldn't imagine typing out like 38 paragraphs of what I'm looking for because I'm not that picky, right?
Right.
But
I,
her headline was real men drive trucks. If this isn't you, don't swipe right. So we matched and then we started talking and she asked me what kind of truck I owned. Right? And
yeah.
it's not like she's a tire biter. It's not like she's a gold digger. She just firmly believes that men should drive trucks. I mean, I live in the prairies, so it makes sense. There's more trucks out here than I've ever seen in my entire life anywhere else. Every car lot is just fucking filled with like trucks. Every red light, there's jacked up trucks and loud exhaust and diesel fuming into the air. But I was like, well, I don't own a truck. I own a Camaro and I own like a Hummer H3. So it's an SUV, but it's not a truck. And she's like, that's not really a truck. Oh, wait, it's an H3. It's an SUV. It's bigger than lots of trucks. She's like, yeah, but you can't haul anything. I go, but I have a hitch. I can hook up a trailer. I can haul things. And she's like, I specifically said real men drive trucks. But then she ended up talking to me for weeks and weeks.
Okay.
So maybe you like my personality and you like my pictures a little bit more than you think that I should have a truck. Do you think she sat there and thought about her headline and thought about her profile and thought, well, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I'm a nitpicky biatch.
I doubt she did, but it would be nice to think she might have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's profiles like that I've seen as well. I mean, it's some people just want a certain thing. I mean,
If you don't
I,
make six figures, don't swipe right.
yeah, I mean, it's basically saying she is expecting a lot of money being spent on her. I mean,
Meh.
I don't know. I don't know. I look at it this way. I'm too poor to date, so I'm too broke.
It's funny you say that because this next one is my favorite one. I had to use Google to figure it out. And that's not
Okay.
usually a thing I do because I'm well versed in quite a bunch of shit, but this one was just blew my fucking mind. I laughed my ass off once I read the
Okay.
definition. But it said
Okay.
not looking for any hobo-sexuals. Do you know what that is?
Okay. I have no idea.
Exactly. I didn't know what it was, so I had to look it up. And this is the definition of a hobo-sexual. A hobo-sexual is a person who gets into relationships to avoid being homeless. And then used in a sentence, it's like, I think he's only in a relationship with me because he has nowhere to live. Yeah, that boy's a hobo-sexual. Laugh my fucking ass off.
I would tend to think that there's probably more female hobosexuals than there are male hobosexuals.
I wonder how many times this girl had a guy date her and move in just because he was on the verge of being homeless.
I'm guessing a lot.
I mean, one time is okay. You're like, oh, okay, shit. I do like this guy, and he's moving kind of quick, like moving really quick. And then he ends up stealing half your shit or cheating on you, whatever. But how many times do you have to date somebody who's like, oh yeah, so I'm a little bit late on my rent. I'm a little bit late on my rent. The next guy, I'm a little bit late on my rent.
Can I
It's
stay at your place?
super fucked up. We've only been talking for 3 weeks. Yeah, I think I'm ready to move in. How
You know what you say that, but I have actually I mean, I actually moved in with my second wife within like 2 months of meeting her.
I was just gonna
But
ask how quickly you've moved in with somebody you dated.
yeah, that's the fastest I ever moved in with any. Well, okay, let's. I've only lived with two women, and I married both of them. So take that for what you however you want to hold that.
Well, I think it's
You
pretty
know.
simple. You probably own a truck, and right away they were like, I can marry this guy. He's got a truck.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean I basically went basically straight from living with basically a related person to living with my girlfriend, who then became my wife. So it's kind of fucked up.
Was
I,
she
I,
the
I,
hobo-sexual? Or were you the hobo-sexual?
I don't know. I was kind of a homosexual in a way. I mean, I had a place to live, so it wasn't like I was getting kicked out. But I'd rather have lived with a girl than with the family member that I was living with. So, I mean, it was kind of like a, let me get the fuck out kind of situation. But I wasn't going to be like living in the street. I mean, I had a place, so I don't know. So yeah, 2 months is my record. Two months, and then proposed within 6 months. So let's see here. I met her in May, proposed in November, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, 6 months.
Would you ever
So
do that again?
hell no,
Hell no. You hear that,
hell
listeners?
no,
He says hell no.
hell to the no no.
No proposing ever again, you think?
I seriously doubt it. I won't say never, but it's about as close to never as I think I'm going to get. But yeah, the way I look at it, we talk about this stuff, Clay. It's like if I'm not looking to marry somebody to start a family, which means marrying somebody young and young enough to have kids and all that stuff. And I mean, at my age, I'm getting close enough. It's like if I had a kid now, I'd be hitting the 70s by the time they graduated from high school, and I'm trying to be retired. That's not going to work, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't see much point in marrying somebody older. I mean, I can find companionship and friendship and meet people, and to have a good life, good time without it being a marrying situation. I mean, and the other thing is you meet women, and the older they get, the more expectations of what you're supposed to have to qualify to be the husband material for them increases. And I'm basically like, hey, remember that level you were at when you just first moved out of your parents' house, and you were just like, "Hey, I got a bed finally." That's where I'm at still. So
Well, I do need to buy a new bed and I do need to buy a new couch. So I'm sort of in that maybe I should get a futon stage because they're way cheaper. Or maybe I should buy a fucking couch and drop the 3 grand into it and actually have a nice looking living room. My couch is falling apart. I have two really nice, like big comfy chairs that I bought recently, but I still have an old shitty couch. And my bed frame is kind of old. My mattress is good. My bedding is awesome. I bought new bedding and it's amazing. It looks like grown-up bedding rather than, Spider-Man or Batman shit that I used to use because I don't really care about that sort of thing.
I thought you had GI Joe bed sheets.
No, I got G.I. Joe curtains, man. Curtains.
Okay, I remember I did have Star Wars sheets when I was a kid.
I used to, strangely enough, I didn't watch sports, but I recall a time when I had NHL hockey logos on my bedding or my curtains.
You're Canadian. It has to be hockey.
I guess so. Maybe when you're born in Canada, they give you that. Maybe things have changed. They didn't give me one for my son when he was born, but maybe things have changed in the last 30, 40 years.
They just issue them. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and a Tim.
You're Canadian. Here's your sheets, and
Here's your Tim Hortons gift card.
yeah, yeah. Here's some coffee. Okay,
Like, hey there, bud. Happy birthday there. So
yeah,
here's your NHL hockey bed sheets. And over there, you take the quad out for a rip, and we give you one of them Tim Hortons gift cards, you see, and you can use that at any one of those Tims all over the country. There's at least 7 in every town. Have fun.
yeah. And here's your login to watch Letterkenny.
Which, by the way, is a fucking awesome show.
It is totally awesome, as we've discussed before. And all the ladies on the show, if by chance one of them is ever listening to this podcast, you're all hot.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes, especially Katie. So
I need to watch more Letterkenny. I've only seen a handful of episodes, but God, it's genius.
Well, since I discovered how to watch them online and figured out a way to watch them, since I can't get the DVD seasons through my library, I
Yeah.
did catch up to season 9 now. So I got seasons 10, 11, and 12. Plus, I got to find a way to watch the first season of Shorzy. So
The season 9, was that the one where the first episode they're all in the diner and then the other hockey players come in?
I don't know. Season 9 started off after they kicked the crap out of Katie's guy that was cheating on her. That was the end of season 8.
Hmm.
So, but they came in to take the trophy away from the natives because Shorzy and Jonesy and what's his face, the other guy that's always with Jonesy,
Yeah.
weren't natives, so they were disqualified for playing, and so that they had to forfeit the trophy. They had to forfeit the trophy to Tree Rivers. Fucking Tree Rivers.
There you go, Know-It-Alls. A little bit of Letterkenny history from Charlie Ray, the American, who seems to love the Canadian TV show.
Yes, I do. That's some high quality TV right there.
Did you have any headlines that you wanted to bring up, or did I pretty much cover it with all the ones I found that were
Um,
awesome?
ah, like I said, I deleted all my profiles, so I don't have them. But I mean, they're all classics. I mean, everybody's very demanding about what they do want. I always looked at it this way: if you can find somebody who hits maybe 75 or 80%, maybe if what you're looking for and you're attracted to, I consider that a win.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, and that you have to be able to be accepting that the things you don't agree with are okay, that you can handle them. Like I struggle with the fact that the girl that I'm seeing is vegetarian, and so it's kind of hard to share certain things, especially food, which is, I mean, me and you can definitely say that food's been a big deal in our life, whether it's sustenance or just to try it or to share it with people or to have, experiences with people. And it's
Yep.
hard to do. And it's hard to do if you can't share foods very well. I mean, I can share more of hers, but I can't share much of mine because she can't eat it. I can't throw down a mean Kansas City barbecue for her and have whatever because she won't eat it. So and it's not it's religious. It's not just food wise. So
It's not a personal choice.
well, it's a personal choice, but it's the way that she grew up that way, and so she grew up in a religious vegetarian household type of situation. So uh
And all you want to do is wait 2 months, move in with them, and propose after 6. That's your plan.
no, 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 no. I like I said, ladies, if you have an amazing presentation and you really want the Charlie Ray, you might have a chance. But I'm looking for somebody really special and who wants to basically retire and live off the land and live off the grid and be out in the country. And I don't think most modern women are really looking for that these days. So, oh well,
Oh,
they're
well,
lost.
indeed.
Yeah, they're lost. You can't have this baby dick broke ass wanting to live out in the woods.
So
God,
that's your headline.
that's
Baby
right.
dick and broke ass want to live out in the woods. And then wonder how many are going to swipe right.
I don't know.
Because
I'm
what if there's,
guessing not very many.
I don't know, there's got to be people like me. It's like you look at it, you're like, challenge accepted, challenge accepted. And most of them don't reciprocate. But the ones that do, I've had plenty of conversations for a couple weeks anyway. So that's not bad. I mean, I didn't change their mind, obviously. I'm never going to change their mind. I'm not even going to try to. And I would hope that somebody wouldn't, right? Because
All right.
so
I
I'm just happy that I got the conversation in, and maybe they talk about me. Maybe they have a podcast and they're like, "Oh my God, I have this headline and this guy just didn't follow it, but I couldn't stop talking to him." So I'm hoping they had podcasts.
well, yeah, if not, they should. I mean, I'm just impressed that you actually got conversations out of some of them. It's hard enough to find people when you match them to actually have conversations. Like you write a whole paragraph and they're like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Or they give you the thumbs up.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, I just think, they'll ask you a question, you give a long answer and you're like, okay, now what do you think about that? And they'll give you like a line. I'm like,
yeah.
Really? Yeah. It's crazy. The thing is, it, it's just a challenge out there. It's hard out there for a pimp, I mean, that's all there is to it.
Pimping ain't easy. Charlie Ray knows.
That's right. And especially if I actually get him to come to Thanksgiving dinner with me after that family tradition.
Yeah. How are you gonna? You definitely got to find the special, and I use air quotes, woman that will help. The competition for the turkey carving at your house.
Well, as long as she stands behind me and helps push me over the line, I think we're okay.
I mean, that's probably why our conversation led to going to Southeast Asia. You can bring some of those girls home for Thanksgiving dinner.
Probably. I have heard stories from several people and podcasts I've watched in the past about the dating in Southeast Asia, especially for, as they call them, they usually it's they call them passport bros now is apparently a term, but well, I'll just say this about dating in general, and that you take a chance, see what happens. It's all you can do. It's all you can do, whether you like the headline or you don't like the headline.
And there you have it, Knowitalls. Charlie Ray and Mr. Clay sum up online dating.
And if you're taking advice from us, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's time to say peace out, Knowitalls, and try not to follow any advice we give you.
That's right. That's right. Love you all.
If you do and it works out, let us know, because I would be very surprised.
Me too. Me too. Good luck.
Talk to you later.
All right. Peace out, man.
Peace.
Do it with the butthole.
Do it with the butthole.
Yeah. Do the pop. No,
not ass to mouth. You never go ass to mouth.
That's how you get all the good flavor.
Well, I mean, you don't do that because your butt's tasting everything anyway.
Wait.
There you go.
That's the Gelman.
Okay, anyway, speak like you're normally. This is how loud I always am.
And I'm just going to talk like this.
Okay, I'm also speaking regular style.
This is how I regularly
want to enunciate.
I'm going to
properly.
enunciate all of my words.
She sells seashells
By
the seashore.
She sells by the seashore? So stupid.
How much would woodchuck as much as woodchuck would?
11.
Take a quick sip. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gelman Hour.